everyone, I'm Dhanush Kettiarachi and I'm an international language instructor. The virtual it is the happy to say that I have made up my mind to start the brand new programs for you with a view to enhancing the English knowledge as much as possible. So I have made the latest programs to introduce to you to develop your listening skill. In fact, I'm willing to start these listening programs by presenting the question on the screen before you start listening. According to the best of my knowledge, the question is very much helpful to you to get the better understanding, and also you're supposed to be the finding the answer at the end. As far as I'm convinced that you can definitely develop the listening skill than you expect. Now, I would like to forward a question. Now, you can definitely answer at the end. The question is, Mary hardly recognized the office she went into because. There are the four answers. You are supposed to be choosing the best answer. Okay. Answer number one, she had been there only once before. Answer number two, nobody was doing any work. Answer number three, she was still feeling very nervous. Answer number four is people were making so much noise in the office. While you are listening to this listening comprehension, you can definitely define the answer at the end. At this juncture, that I'm going to present this listening comprehension for you. The clock struck 9:15 as Mary hurried into the big block of offices where she was going to work. Her bus had crawled through the dense city traffic, making her a few minutes late for her very first job. She resolved to leave home early the next day. Inside the building, she had to wait once again. This time, for the lift to take her up to the 6th floor. When at last she reached the door marked J. King, manager, she knocked rather nervously and waited. There was no answer. She tapped on the door again, but still there was no reply. From inside the next office, she could hear the sound of voices. So she opened the door and went in. Although it was without a doubt the same office she had been shown into when she had come for an interview with Mr. King 2 weeks before. On that morning, it looked quite different. In fact, it hardly looked like an office at all. All the employees were standing about, chatting and smoking. At the far end of the room, a man must have just told a very funny story, for there was a loud burst of laughter just as Mary came in. For a moment, she thought that they were laughing at her. Then one of the men looked at his watch, clapped his hands, and said something to the others. Immediately, they all went to their desks, and in the space of a few seconds, everyone was working busily. No one took any notice of Mary at all. At last, she went up to the man who was sitting at the desk nearest the door and explained that this was her first day in the office. Hardly looking up from his work, he told her to take a seat near him and wait for Mr. King, who would arrive at any moment. Then the Mary realized that the day's work in the office that began just before Mr. King arrived. Later, she found out that he came up every morning from the country on the same train, arriving promptly in the office at 9:35, so that his staff knew precisely when to start work. Thank you very much for watching my video, and please be kind enough to subscribe my channel Dhanush Hettiaji FCML and then click on the bell icon to get the latest videos soon. Join us again.